Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I'm your host, Ty Christensen. And we would never bow down to sponsors. And we've got Jordan Christensen on the podcast.
Swing!
Shawing! And we have first guest, Tatiana. Don't know your last name.
Quinn.
Quinn. It's Tatiana Quinn.
If you're gonna spew into this.
A little Dixie cup, right? That he found off of the side of the road. Oh my gosh, guys, we're reviewing Wayne's World. Wayne's World! We're talking about this movie.
Excellent.
Excellent. Yeah, this movie goes right along with Bill and Ted's Most Bogus Journey. I can't say it. For a double feature this week, this has been a delight. Which is weird that I'm saying this because if our cousin Cole's listening to the podcast, I had a long-running beef with him about Mike Myers not being a really good actor or even funny actor. I hate saying that because I do like this movie, but it's like kind of when I admit that Adam Sandler is funny, it's just the movies that he was in that were really funny. It's not necessarily Adam Sandler that's making me laugh, except Happy Gilmore. He was funny in that one. But anyway, let's get into this movie. What was it like watching this movie for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast? Let's start with you, Jordan.
Okay. 1 second.
'Cause I think you have the least to say about this movie. You just watched it for the first time, right?
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
What's going on there?
No, I'm still here. Wait.
Very unprofessional.
Wait. Okay. Wait. Okay, so...
Are you all settled and situated yet?
There are a few things I love more than movies, and you are one of those things. Will you marry me? So your ring's still coming in the mail, but...
Yes, I will. Oh my gosh, look at that ring. Is this like a school ring?
Yeah. But it's just because I couldn't wait. I wanted to get you a ring pop, but they didn't have any.
Oh my gosh, like Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still in the mail. I'm sorry it took forever to...
Well, yeah, so I just got like too excited and I didn't want to wait. So.
Oh, sorry. Is the kissing sound in
No, it's fine.
Well, leave it to my brother to not tell me that this was going to happen. I'm just as surprised as you are. Okay, congratulations, Mazel Tov. Guys, you have the scoop here on the podcast. This podcast makes dreams come true. We just had our first wedding and engagement announcement on the podcast. Care to share who is our guest here today? Tatiana Quinn is soon to be Tatiana Christensen.
Actually, it's going to be Jordan Quinn.
Oh, good.
He has joked about that from the very beginning of talking about marriage.
Good.
Never said anything.
Jordan Quinn sounds like a cool detective name, honestly.
Yeah, it does.
Jordan Quinn. I like that. Dude, that is your new series right there. Congratulations, guys.
Look at this ring.
Look at that blue, what is that, an opal? What is that, a high school ring?
It's like a high school class ring. I love it.
Well,
Better than my 25 toy dispenser plastic ring I used for my wife. So.
I know. I wanted to do a ring pop, but I was checking like every store and they didn't have any, so I was pretty sad.
Then you run the risk of a cracked ring pop, you know? One that giant, big, fat crack in it, you know? Yeah, those can sometimes get roughed around a bit. Wow, you guys, holy crap. I don't even know what to say. This is crazy.
I didn't know I was going to be so nervous. I was like, why am I shaking? I'm like,
Well, she could have said no, and then we would have had it recorded. That would have been great. I mean, just as
I could always edit it out.
I could have been like, where's my ring? Also, where's my ring pop?
and then it was like
your face
like
was
20 minutes
surprised
later.
when you looked at it. You're like, wait a minute, that's not the ring I asked for. I could see a concerned look in your face, and I'm like, it's okay, it's still coming in the mail.
That's okay.
That's so cute
But you're
that you
making me nervous for a second. I'm like, oh no, because
yeah,
you were looking at me. You're like, what's going on? What are you doing?
Oh, after I saw the ring, I said, what's going on? Oh, before that?
No. Well, and then when you saw the ring, you're like, wait a minute. That's not the ring we talked about.
I was trying to act like, I don't know what's going on, but as soon as you started to move the computer and get up,
you knew?
I was like, I think I know what's happening.
Oh, not too subtle.
Oh,
my
cute.
goodness.
I love
That's
it.
okay. I tortured my now wife. I gave her a ring. Well, so her ring was on its way, and then our day for engagement photos came. and she didn't know that the ring had gotten there, but I had it because I sent it to myself. And so the photographer's there ready to take pictures, and you can't take engagement pictures without the wedding ring. Anyway, so it's there, and then I'm like, hey, surprise, your ring is here. And I toss it to my wife, and we were standing by this lake, and it was like frozen over because this is like April in Idaho, and there's like ice all over this lake. And I throw the ring at her, and it goes over her head into the lake behind her. Bloop. And I had the photographer in on it, so she took pictures of my wife's face, and she was just horrified, totally aghast. And she was just like, "Oh my gosh! Like, you're gonna go in there, find it." and then I left her there. I went back to the car and got the real ring, but I forgot to tell my wife that it was a joke. So she just sat there awkwardly at the water's edge, literally contemplating going in there after it, because every minute that she wasted, the ring is getting further and further away. But I came back with the real ring, and she couldn't smile right after that.
That's a tongue twister. The real ring.
The real ring? The real ring. The real ride ring. Oh, I texted you the good tongue twister.
Here's the tongue twister. Jordan is fine, and he's my fiance. Fiddle faddle.
Oh,
that's just alliteration.
Yeah, I like that alliteration. It was we rewound. I don't know why I can't say that. I can barely say it now. We rewound the movie. We rewound? We rewound. We rewound? Is that a tongue twister? I think it's a tongue twister. I can't say it. Congratulations, you guys. I'm nervously babbling. Do we even talk on the podcast anymore about this movie? Do we talk about you guys? How did the two of you meet? What's happening? How long have you known each other?
This is my second time meeting Ty. Also, hi.
Hi. Hello, future sister-in-law.
Future brother-in-law.
That's fun. Crazy. Okay.
Well, we met on a dating app. It works for some people, I guess.
It's magic.
Then for like a month, we were just messaging on that. Well, not just, they were good messages. Pen paling, as I like to call it. And Jordan teases that I took forever to respond back to every message that he sent. But he took a while, too.
Good. Yeah, you spent 3 days with every response.
Yeah, I was like about that. But he says it was a week. It was just 3 days. And then
3 work days, almost a week, I guess. Almost a work week.
And then we had a first date in real life, and it was at a nice restaurant. And I think the excitement was mutual.
But
because we met on mutual.
Yeah, wait, I feel like I'm in an ad all of a sudden. Because you're like, and you could sign up.
Wait a minute,
I'm married.
Just like the movie, Ty, I would never sell out.
Never sell out.
Yes.
On mutual, yeah. There's never been a better time for your dreams to come true. Oh, wait, that's Disneyland, sorry.
And he beat me to the text. I was going to do an after the date text, but he beat me to it. And then we saw each other 2 days later. And then there were 8 days that he didn't message me. And he says that it's because I came off the friend zone vibe.
Yes, she did. And you know what I did on Valentine's Day? I said all these amazing, adorable things. And she said, oh, that's nice. And then every time we got together, she never flirt. So how's that supposed to know?
Apparently, I don't flirt, and I wasn't surprised to hear that. I've always struggled with flirting. But we made it. I texted him after those 8 days, and I was like, I don't know if I made things awkward, but if you want to meet up sometime, I'd love to, or whatever, but no pressure. And he was like, oh, no. Want to go to St. George this weekend? A bunch of my family will be there. Or do you want to go to my best friend's wedding in 3 weeks? And then our third date, your stepdad and 2 of your brothers were there on the date.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, you got to meet the family.
Awesome. It was so
Got to
fun.
meet the family
And
because,
then our fourth date, we went
remember what it
one-on-one.
says in your yearbook? That you're...
Oh, I'm the most parent approved.
Yeah.
I
So.
got voted the most parent approved. Like 9 people voted, that's all. But I still won, so.
How about that? I don't even think I was featured in my yearbook.
You
Not
didn't
even my
even
senior
have any
photo
photo.
made it in. I don't know how, but
Which
yeah,
reminds
my
me of
senior
Wayne's
year,
World.
Pretty much gone.
I didn't even have a photo. Sorry.
I have photo.
A gun rack. I don't even have a gun, let alone many that can necessitate an entire rack. Sorry, I love that movie a lot.
Stacy, man, best ex-girlfriend in any movie ever.
Yes.
That's excellent. Holy cow.
And then we had our first kiss a few days later, and then we said I love you like 2.5 weeks later.
Wow. It just shows to folks, that doesn't make any sense. It just goes to show folks that dreams do really come true. You heard it here first on the podcast. Wow, you guys, this is crazy. Congratulations, you two. So when are you getting married?
Do you say when?
Yeah.
August 28th.
No. I guess you're... Oh, August 28th.
Sorry.
Congratulations. That's
This
amazing.
proposal wasn't really a surprise. We've been talking about it.
Yeah, we've been talking about it. And I mean,
that's okay.
But
it's only supposed to be a surprise in movies, and then the engagements where the girl says no. On YouTube, when you watch all those failed rejected, it's like they clearly didn't talk about it because they can't even just pretend to say yes in front of all these people. They literally have to lie. Like I would do the mercy yes, and then later in private say sorry. I just said yes in front of all those people because it's not like
Yeah.
Like, what does that person do at the ball game when everyone's watching on the kiss cam? And she's like, no, and then leaves. Everyone's just like, oh my gosh. Like, how would you ever recover from that? Like, ever. That's crazy to me. Anyway, just pretend, just say yes in the moment, and then you can go and talk later and say, no, sorry, we're not getting married.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's crazy, you guys. So yeah, if you're saying it live on a podcast, you can talk to Jordan in private afterwards.
Well, not live, because if she rejected me, I don't think I could have taken that. So
all of our listeners tuning in, yeah.
Luckily, I can always edit it out.
That's right. Congratulations, you guys. Well,
thank you.
that was a delight, and we don't have to stop talking about it. We can keep talking about it. We were going to discuss a movie called Wayne's World.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are still in the mood to talk about this movie.
Absolutely, always, every time of every day.
All the time. Every day, always.
Yeah,
Okay,
this
guys,
is actually a movie that Tatiana grew up with, and we'll let her get into that. But actually, do you want to go first? That'd be kind of fun.
Okay. What's the question
Awesome.
again?
What's it like watching it for the first time and rewatching it for the pod?
So yeah, like in a sense we grew up with it, but honestly my first memory of watching it was when I was like 16 or something, but then I just watched it like a million times from then until graduating high school and leaving the house. So I watched it so many times with my family, so many times with my friends, and I'm pretty positive that the first time, that first memory I have when I was like 16 or so, my dad was laughing so much, and when he does that, his laugh is just infectious. And is that the word, or infectious?
I think it's infectious.
Infectious. And
I watch enough zombie movies to know that I think it's infectious.
Nice. My mom too. Oh yeah, because it was late at night and everyone was slap happy. So my mom and my dad were both laughing so much at everything, and that just made it 10 times funnier. And so I was just kind of hooked from that moment. And then I got all my friends to watch it, and we quoted it to each other all the time and everything. And then most recently, we watched it with my parents again because they were in town, and so the four of us watched it. And
I mean, maybe it's not the worst movie to watch with the in-laws, but there's definitely worse ones you can watch. Human Centipede. That's about all I can think of. But all I can think of is the scene where he's dancing around in his underwear, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just can't imagine what it'd be like to watch with your in-laws that scene. I would die. I would shrivel up like a.
Well, I didn't pick it. They picked it for me, so it wasn't bad.
yeah.
you're like, oh, so you're showing me this weird movie. Okay. So that's how it is
we
in
used to
their
always
family.
fast forward that part growing up, but we're all adults now, so we watched. I mean, it's just funny. Mike Myers is just hilarious. It's way more funny than it is anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a pretty tame PG-13. At least that's the way I feel about it.
Yeah.
So, brilliant. Jordan, what was it like watching this movie for the first time with your in-laws?
Well, I thought it was the first time, but apparently after watching it, I'm like, I think I might have actually seen this before.
Yes.
But I wish I'd seen it with somebody because I remember not enjoying it as much because... once again, it reminds me so much of Bill and Ted, where I kind of wish we had grown up with it. I feel like there's so many quotes in here that I would have loved to have quoted from. And, Dad would always ask me growing up, he'd be like, butt sphincter says what? And then I'd be like, what? And he's like, exactly.
Exactly.
And I never understood what he was saying. And it wasn't till, now watching it, I'm like, oh, he was quoting.
That's right. Yeah, it's funny that you say that because, like I said, all the other movies that you would we wouldn't grow up with. For some reason, Mike Myers was just banned from our household, right? I mean, no Austin Powers. I guess So I Married an Axe Murder was somewhere around, but no, it wasn't our family. That was Dad that had that. It wasn't ever Mom. So I guess our family just blacklisted him. I guess they didn't like him.
No, we love Shrek.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not real. I mean, yeah, he's a green ogre. It's like supposedly a kids movie, but I'm just surprised. Like none of Mike Myers' movies found their way into our home.
Well, except Shrek.
Right, but I don't know. Do you think of Shrek as a Mike Myers movie? It's like a fantasy. I don't know. It's not physically Mike Myers. Yeah, he's doing the voice of an ogre, but anyway. So Shrek. Okay, any other Mike Myers movies? Am I missing the long, extensive? Like, mind you, he's in other movies, Jordan. Than just
well,
Wayne's
yes,
World and Shrek.
we didn't grow up watching Austin Powers and stuff because it was too many dirty jokes.
And Lord of the Rings is much too dark. We had a terrible childhood, is my point. So let's get into this movie. What are two of your favorite? Oh, I saw this movie for the first time. It must have been college, right around the time I watched Bill and Ted. And yes, it was like a long slew of a whole swath of movies that I watched. Bill and Ted, Wayne's World, and this one reminds me so much of Tommy Boy for some reason. Maybe it's just Rob Lowe's character being a scummy, sleek-haired guy again. It's funny to see Rob Lowe in that performance. So I liked it. And watching it again, I think it's even funnier because, I'm remembering the quotes now. I better call back because the first time you watch it, it's just like all new. So let's get into two of our favorite things from this movie. Why don't you start us off? Tatiana, what are two of your favorite things from this film?
Okay, well, one is all the nostalgia for me because, like I explained, this was a huge thing growing up, and it's been years since I've sat down and watched it again. So this was super fun. So that's kind of just general. But another thing, Dana Carvey. I appreciate him even more now. His humor, Jordan could testify. I was laughing at like every single thing out of Garth's mouth. I and my friends and my siblings loved his humor back then. But I especially appreciate it even more now because I've been doing improv the last 3 years or so and just kind of learning more about the art of comedy in general. And I've been paying more attention to Saturday Night Live and stuff. And I just feel like in this type of a setting, this kind of a movie, people want comedy that's kind of more loud and in your face a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. I'm probably speaking too broadly for sure. But I just feel like you never see that kind of a character that Dana Carvey was doing with Garth. Just so subtle, so in his own world and weird and just hilarious in this really, really subtle, soft-spoken way that if I were to try to do that. And in fact, I have tried to do that. I tried to impersonate him on stage at the beginning of learning how to do improv, and they were like, don't do that.
You don't understand. I'm tapping into something here.
Right.
I'm on the brink of something. I love it. I'm having a breakthrough. So, Jordan, what about you? Two of your favorite things from this movie?
Well. Two of my favorite things.
Can you come up with two?
Definitely watching it with Tatiana and her family was extremely enjoyable because of how much they were laughing at everything.
You remind me of Rob Lowe's character, just not laughing in Tommy Boy, just watching Chris Farley dancing. I'm a maniac, and he's just standing
and
there,
keeping straight face.
Straight face.
Well, and it's so funny to see him in this again. And then Tatiana pointed out, what did he say? Oh, he said literally.
Yeah, literally.
Literally. He does. And that made me think of Chris Traeger in Parks and Rec, right? His whole I don't know how he broke out of that typecast because this movie and Tommy Boy, he plays the exact same scummy other villain. Man, it's so funny to see him break out of there, to the positive, happy Chris Traeger. Anyway, super strange how that happens. Life takes some unexpected turns for sure. What else did you love?
There's a lot of golden moments. I enjoy every time I love, and I think I've mentioned this before, but dream like sequences where they're seeing a girl and the music's playing and suddenly the song changes to something romantic. And then it's just the wind is literally blowing in their hair and their hair is flying all over the place. And I love that he literally gets knocked off his feet, which is so funny. It's just, I love that kind of stuff. So I enjoyed it very, very much.
Yeah, you were cracking up at that every time that happened.
That's great. Dana Carvey, man, he's so great. It's what other movie other than Master of Disguise did we see of Dana Carvey's growing up? Nothing, I don't think. Yeah. So I think our parents were super opposed to him because I think he came out with a movie called W or something where he makes fun of George W. Bush. I actually don't know, but I do know that our parents are pretty outspoken about the actors that they choose.
I thought that was Josh Brolin.
I don't know who else is in that, but I know Dana Carvey is in that, right? Or maybe he just portrayed him on SNL.
Yeah, he definitely
was
did
on
that on
SNL.
SNL.
He did on
for
SNL
sure.
for sure, but I thought he was in W as well. But maybe that was somebody else.
Josh
like I
Brolin.
said, Josh Brolin plays W. That's weird.
Yeah.
Now I want to see it now, even though it's like after the fact. So I love this movie. I think it's super funny. It's really quotable, and there's some really funny comedy set pieces, like slapstick humor that actually lands. So I really like that. And one thing I really like too is I think there's enough heart in it where somehow Mike Myers doesn't annoy me, because Austin Powers kind of annoys me, and most of Mike Myers' characters annoy me. And it made me laugh because, like, I remember, like, when The Love Guru came out and everyone started hating him and now he can't get work. It's like, you didn't need to destroy the band's career over this, but, like, you know, he has one stinker. I didn't find him that funny, but in this movie I do. I find him really sweet. He's like a really sweet, well-meaning guy, and I like that. I like a movie with a protagonist that you can get behind. Like Bill and Ted, they're very sweet characters, and you care about them, even though they might be flawed and they're kind of weird and they're goofy and
Yeah,
quirky.
this reminded me a lot of Bill and Ted.
Yes, it's very similar. It's just like rocks. They like music. They just like hanging out, having a good time, and they struggle to find dates for a lot of the movie. And then they finally get something good, and then it seems to be too good to be true, and then their whole life comes crashing down, and then they travel through the depths of hell and come back, and they ascend into heaven with their prized, their maidens, or whatever you want to call it, their babes. So I loved this movie for those two reasons. It's got heart.
One of their friends in the back seat that was rocking out and spinning his hair, he totally reminds me of, what's the kid from Game Night? He was the kind of dumb friend, the good-looking dumb friend.
Oh, well, he does look like that actor. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. The Tool, what was he in? He was also in Aladdin.
Maniac.
Right? Yes, Maniac, yes. Yeah, the douchebag brother. So let's get into two of our favorite, or we already said two of our favorite things, but you guys have like favorite scenes that you wanted to call out, or any nitpicks or questions that you have about this movie. I have one. So there's the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, right? That has Queen, and Sami Malek or Ramick, whatever his name is playing the Queen singer, Freddie Mercury. And then like in the movie, Mike Myers is like, I don't know if he's the artist or he's like the records label guy. It's Mike Myers, and he's making a big fuss about Bohemian Rhapsody not being the first song to lead the album, and like they're really insistent that it is. And then like I know in this movie they nearly didn't get the rights to perform Bohemian Rhapsody at the beginning in the car, but Mike Myers insisted that if that song wasn't played, he would walk and they wouldn't be making a film. That's what I heard anyway. So like it's like, I guess it's tongue in cheek where he literally transcends that movie and then appears in Bohemian Rhapsody later, where he's like adamant about not having. Is that the joke? Like he loves the song so much that, right? Like I don't know if you guys have seen
my
Bohemian
dad has
Rhapsody.
talked about this because my dad lived
Really?
through a lot more eras than us, and he said like when Wayne's World came out, Bohemian Rhapsody resurfaced as this big popular song again. So Queen in general like became more popular again in the 90s or whatever it was when Wayne's World came out, after kind of fading off a little bit for a time. So it was definitely more of like a nod and just a funny joke.
Maybe it was the AIDS that kind of put a little damper on the whole mood. Right? I don't know.
It was
Freddie.
supposed
You
to
had a
come
great
off
voice.
it was supposed to come off as a funny joke of like, oh, that's hilarious that Wayne, who loves Bohemian Rhapsody and made it popular again, is now saying he doesn't like it.
Right, and it's like, but it doesn't belong in the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, for Pete's sake. Like it belongs in this movie, but it's just like the weirdest thing. And again, it's like unless you knew the actor Mike Myers, like I said, maybe that was a real conversation that he had with the record label. Maybe it wasn't. Like I don't know a single record label that would hear that song and be like, no, it's not for the first track. Again, what do I know about history? Like I watched the movie, it plays like a Wikipedia search page. It's just like, hey, what if we sang this song? What if we sang this song? Like, it's like, was their whole life like that? You know, like, I don't know. It's just ridiculous. But I just thought it was so funny that it's Mike Myers and he's like adamant about not having the song, when I found out that he literally nearly walked from this movie because you refused to watch the song. So one thing I wanted to make up, did you and your family, Tatiana, watch SNL a lot? Like, did you watch the sketches that these were based off of? Like, Night at the Roxbury was another one that came out, that Will Ferrell movie, where it literally was an SNL sketch, and they made a whole movie around it.
Yeah, my dad was talking about how that's how the movie came to be. And
Yes.
yeah, I think that they did watch SNL back then. I'm more familiar with some later eras of SNL. But
Yes, I'm the Andy Samberg type. That's my generation.
oh, cool.
Andy
I'm a little
Samberg.
bit after that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Andy Samberg and John Heater. Or not John Heater. I always call him John Heater. It is John Heater, right? What's his name? The whole hot rod.
Oh.
No, not John Heater. Yeah,
It's
I always
Bill
call him John
Heater.
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader, yeah, from Barry and everything like that. So, yeah, that generation of SNL is like the one I watched, but that was only like glimpses and the funniest clips, like as I was into college. And I know that every generation has like the new group. I just thought that was mine, and so that's why I missed like I remember seeing like the funniest of Will Ferrell and the funniest of Chris Farley, and I remember thinking like, most of them are funny, but sometimes without context, I'm like, I don't understand why these were significant at the time. Like, I didn't even know what a Chippendale was. And then you watch Chris Farley like dancing around. Anyway, being a male stripper entertainer, it's very funny on its face, but it's like, how is this? Like, were they starved for entertainment? Because like that's like every movie today, you know. I guess it wouldn't be now because fat shaming is like a real cancelable offense, but whatever. Anyway, so I have so many questions. So you guys, did you watch SNL growing up then, or that was just your parents? And then
Yeah, I don't think they let
me.
I don't think they let me.
Yeah, that was just for the parents to watch.
Right.
We didn't watch it
Raunchy
either.
comedy. No, I didn't. That's what I'm saying. I watched it after I moved out, and then, like I said, that's the generation that I watched it, Andy Samberg and all that stuff. So I think that's interesting. I don't know if it takes away or, because, like, I don't know any of the sketches. I just know, like, Wayne and Garth were these two characters that they created, and Mike Myers does a good job at creating characters. He's very much a character actor, if that's the right word, right? Yeah, he's always playing a character. He's never, like, himself. He's always this goofy, like, dude from Minnesota or Illinois, wherever he's from. I can't remember. So very quotable. And do you guys have any other nitpicks or questions about it? I like the multiple movie endings, which I thought was really funny. Like, I don't know where that came from. So funny. Like, let's do the Scooby-Doo ending. And then, like, Rob Lowe's character, let's see who's behind the mask. And they pull his face off. Old Man Smithers, the man that owns the haunted theme park? But why? It's like, I would have gotten away with it, too, if it weren't for you meddling kids. Like, so funny. Why is that the funniest, most gratifying ending? It really is. Oh, I forgot to mention that in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, freaking Carl, what's his name? The comedian, Rufus. I can't think of his name. Oh my gosh, it's gonna bother me. Carl Weathers? Not Carl Weathers. George Carlin. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. Fetch, I couldn't think of the name. George Carlin. He like reveals to be the record label artist or whatever. Super funny. Anyway, it's like out of nowhere, out of left field. We're going to get into favorite quotes. You guys think of a quote, just go ahead and shout it out.
Oh, Tatiana's got like 1 million.
1 million.
Oh, one thing. My father-in-law actually uses a Flowbee to cut his hair. That's a real fact. So it's sucking my will to live.
Yeah.
Like the fetching Flowbee that they use at the beginning, the suck cut or whatever.
It certainly does suck.
It does suck.
I don't really have anything to say right now. What's that? Whoa.
I loved the cameo scene because it reminds me of like the Adam Sandler movies. The guy at the diner, he's always like, why is it if a man kills in war, he's a hero, but if he kills in the heat of passion, he's a murderer?
Dad, do you watch Modern Family? Do you recognize that?
Yeah, he's the grandpa.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, and he was in that, what was that? Long-running TV show. He was like the main guy. It's basically Camp Queens or Roxanne. He was like the father in that show too. But yeah, now he's the older generation. Yeah, he's great. He was so funny. But yeah, all of his cameo, like all his appearances where he's just like, don't you want to watch the soul drain from his eyes? And it's like, no. Like, what's wrong with you? I love that guy. It's great.
I like when they team up and like all these random people just come with them on their adventure to go help. Like they get a cop and like all these other people. It's so great.
Yeah, they all like, he's like, hey, who's with us? And they're all like, yeah, we're going to help you guys. Like, Wayne and Garth, you need our help. It's like, who are these people? It's the whole village coming together for a Mission Impossible caper. It's so great.
I love when he says, Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon?
Yeah, to the business guy. That reminded me of Ferris Bueller's Day Off for some reason. Like sitting in a car next to someone fancy and, excuse me, do you have Grey Poupon?
And it's just like
Oh
this
my gosh,
tiny,
but-
like, few seconds scene, nothing to do with anything else in the movie. I just love
That
it
is
so much.
great. Yeah, that's great.
And I also love when he's stabbing Mr. Jelly Donut Man. Ree, ree, ree.
Psycho call out, right? I love it. And other movies that were quoted or they reference other movies. I love the subtitles that come up across the bottom of the screen. Like, for some reason, it's like gratuitous sex scene. And he's like, all right, swing. It's so awkward. And then there's another great one where he's like, and then he like grabs a cup of water and splashes water in his
Yes.
eyes, and he's like, and besides, I never learned to read. Why is that so funny? Oh my gosh, that's so great. And it's like Oscar reel or whatever. It kept flashing on the bottom of the screen. I love that. That was so funny. And at the end, they had like Rob Lowe come out, and they're all like, I've learned like the weirdo that's like, I learned that you can have a platonic love between two men or something like that. And he's like, I learned that you need to be respectful of others. It's like the weirdest thing. Everyone comes together for this kumbaya moment. It's so ridiculous. Oh my gosh.
I love when Wayne speaks in Cantonese.
Yes. There's a moment where he like stops talking and the subtitles are still rolling and he's like, ooh.
Yeah.
That was great. That was so funny. And of course, Rob Lowe speaks Cantonese too. I love that. And then he's all like, "Oh, your accent sounds like you're from this part of town." And it's just like so slimy. I love it.
Yeah.
I love is it Stacy, the ex-girlfriend, where he's like, just tell me what we need to do to move forward. He's like, we have broken up like 2 months ago. And then
Are you
she gives
mental?
him this gift. Are you mental? And then she gives them this gift. He's like, it's an anniversary gift. It's like, you can't have anniversary. We've broken up.
Yeah.
And then he's like, just go ahead and open it. You might feel differently. And he's like, it better not be a severed head in here. I'm going to be really upset. I don't know why that makes me laugh. That's a great line. His line delivery there was flawless.
I forgot
Oh,
about
it's
that.
so funny.
Yeah.
And then, and my favorite, the other cameo, or not cameo, but like one of my favorite performances was from the crew that helped him with the show. I love every time they'd be sitting in a car or something, he'd be like, hey, I love you, man. He's
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
Thanks.
I love that
I love you
part.
too. And he's like, no, you don't
No.
understand. I love you, man.
Just say thank you.
Say thank you. Thanks.
I love
Oh my
all of
gosh.
Garth's ow.
Oh, yeah, Garth is super quirky. He's super funny.
Ow. And then
Did you ever find Bugs Bunny attractive when he would dress up in a dress pretending to be a woman?
and then
No, me neither.
yeah. And then the second time that they're on the car, I'm gonna leave. Okay, go then. I'm gone. Okay, then go. I'm out of here. Then go.
Goes on forever, dude. Oh my gosh. Go. Fine. I'm already gone. Oh my gosh, I love it.
And then the whole
And-
scene in the restaurant where Garth gets that huge glass for his drink with like all these umbrellas and fruits, and it's like a blue color.
Giant.
He cheers with that at the end. And there's also another scene where he cheers with no cup in his hand, and then his hand just shrivels up after he fake cheers with it.
I love when he like swallows like a cherry or a fruit or a stem from something and it gets lodged in his throat and they pat him on the back and he like coughs out at something and it lands in his drink. It's so
Oh yeah, it's like
gross.
this pretzel bite or something that lands
Yeah,
in the drink.
there's so-
And then Wayne says quietly, he shoots, he scores.
He shoots, he scores. Yeah, that was great.
Which then makes me think of game on, game on.
I know, blink and you miss it, right? It's ridiculous. Oh my gosh, it's so great. I also love. Oh, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say.
We're now in, what is it, Wyoming or Mississippi?
Oh yeah. Or you can stroll on down to Delaware. Hi, I'm in Delaware.
Oh, hey, now we're in New York. Like it's so
I'm
stupid.
gonna go to a Broadway show.
You gotta go to a Broadway show. I love what was it? Garth was just like, Benjamin is nobody's friend. If Benjamin were an ice cream flavor, he'd be all pralines and... I don't know why that made me laugh so hard. Oh my gosh. He's not anybody's friend. I love that. And it's so funny because, again, Rob Lowe's character bleeding in from Tommy Boy. Like, just, he's like the salty... He wasn't even, like, malicious in this movie. He wasn't necessarily, like, the worst guy. I kept waiting for, like, this evil meeting where, like in Billy Madison, right? He's like everything he owns will be mine, you know, like an evil moment. Never happens. He's just like a guy that, like, I don't know, he likes Wayne's girl, and the poor guy gets cavity searched by that policeman. What gave him the right, the policeman, to do that? I mean, I know they set it up earlier in the movie. He's like, I can't find any drugs on you, but I just have to check one more thing. Claps his glove, like, holy crap. And then Rob Lowe gets out of the car and he's like, he's walking bow-legged, like, oh, wow.
Yes, and I love it.
So
Every time it
awkward.
keeps rewinding time, you keep re-seeing him waddle out.
He's getting out of the car, waddling.
I know you guys were cracking up. I hate that part. I'm like, oh, he's in pain.
It's
I
so
love it.
cringeworthy.
It's so funny.
It's so funny. That's, oh my gosh.
To get
Everyone can
cavity searched. They do a similar joke on Beavis and Butthead. It's pretty funny. The movie.
Oh yeah. Absolutely just ridiculous. It's so funny.
Also, I love when they have their backstage passes and they just show them. They show them in everyone's faces, no matter who the people are.
Backstage passes, yeah.
Or when the guy's throwing out facts. What is his name? The singer.
Oh my gosh.
Alice
Cooper. Alex
Actually,
Cooper.
did you know that?
Did you know that the indigenous people date all the way back from the 60s? He like goes in this brief history lesson, and it's so funny.
And then Wayne and Garth like, this guy knows how to party, am I right?
Oh, I love that. That was great.
Worthy. We're scum.
Oh, it was great.
Makes me think
I
of
love that.
Hercules.
Ah.
We're worms.
We are worms. That's right. Oh, that was great. Oh, I'm trying to think of any others plenty of funny scenes.
I'll kick myself
Like-
later for not remembering
I know.
the rest.
Then your family will be like, you didn't remember this quote?
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
The one we said 15,000 times growing up?
Oh, I love when Garth is like, and then we'll take those, blah, 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 blah. And then, I do that a lot sometimes.
And then...
Wait, I just
That's
contradicted
great.
myself. I said I do that a lot, and I said I do that sometimes.
Yeah, you embody Garth a lot.
Oh, really? Already? That's, oh, good. I'm glad
You're
that's the vibe I'm
channeling
giving
the
off the first
Garth,
impression.
vibe.
Yes, no, seriously. I said to Jordan during the movie, I was like, oh, one year, can we dress up as Garth and Wayne?
I love when you mentioned Alice Cooper. It's a really funny moment though when they're not worthy. He like puts his head to the side and extends his wrist with his hand out, like kiss the royal hand. I love that. That was so great. Alice Cooper, dude. Great moment. Just nothing said. Just puts out his hand. You may kiss the royal hand or fingers. I thought that was so funny. Like, that is hilarious.
I love you.
I love you, man.
I love you.
No, you don't understand. Yeah, I love that. You know.
Oh, and then the haiku and so sorry, that guy, he says that one time, yeah, Wayne and Garth will go for that. Not. Excuse me.
And he plays an amazing drum solo. I mean, I'm assuming that's Dana Carvey, like, actually can play.
Yeah, he can play.
And he's just like, you were, like, amazing, dude. Thanks, I like to play.
Oh, ding! Yes, I'd quote that all the time, like, on the piano. Not the drums, because I can't play the drums, but...
Yeah, and he can play the drums. Holy crap, that was
really
great.
good.
I didn't know, but he can actually play. Like, that was really good.
No. Yeah, most actors are, like, somehow talented, like, singing-wise or dancing. They always have, like, some side gig that they did, right? Their parents made them perform tap dancing or something, you know? You always find out all actors, like, they have their own band or something, you know? Mark Wahlberg, Marky Mark. I got them good vibrations. Okay, so we're going to go into... last minute quotes? Yeah, throw in...
And then
last minute
also a few times, well, like when they're in the booth, I love the haiku part. My dad is an English teacher, and he plays that for his students to teach them what a haiku is. It's just like a type of short poem or something. And all it is Garth saying something like, we're up here, but they're down there. Isn't that weird? I don't know. I butchered it.
Well, have you seen Hunt for the Wilder People?
No, I need to.
Oh, they do a haiku.
They talk about haikus all the time. The little
It's really
kid.
funny.
Yeah.
And then also when they're downstairs and they had just learned how to do the counting thing, but they were still mouthing it. That was hilarious.
I love when.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then they're like,
4, 3.
they,
No, stop
You're
mouthing.
still mouthing
Yeah,
it.
stop
And then
mouthing.
when they finally don't mouth it, they're just
And you
shaking,
don't say
trying
2
so hard
and
not to
1.
mouth it.
You don't say 2 or 1. Why not? You just don't. 5, 4, 3, 2. They were so happy about that. They do it like 4 or 5 times in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love when Wayne and Garth are talking about the bass player, and he's like, that bass player is a babe. She makes me feel kind of funny, like we used to when we climbed the rope in gym class. It's like, what?
I know. I was like, I
Regardless
do
of
not
the
understand what he's
I
saying.
don't understand it. He's on a whole other wavelength. I
Okay,
think
good.
it's so funny.
I was like, is that like a innuendo or is that a joke that I just don't get? Like,
I'm gonna chalk that up with like the Bugs Bunny dress one. It's just like a funny comment where you're like, no one feels that way. You're the only guy that's trying to feel that way.
I also love when Garth is left alone on the show, and then he's just like totally freaked out and not saying anything and crawling away. And then later he describes it to Wayne. He's like, "You really left me hanging there, man. I mean, I handled it great, but."
Yeah, I handled the show after you left. You just stood there like,
Oh,
this is
I
a
love-
train wreck.
I love when there's like always another like better looking guy. He's like he's more talented, more skilled, and he like can speak the language better than he can. And I just love stuff like that. I love it
Yeah.
when it leans into the humor of that. That's so good.
Right. It's far better suited. You know, he's got everything. You know, the rich bachelor pad, and then Garth is snooping through his stuff and everything. He's got all that weird stuff for a bachelor pad. It's like the art of picking up women or something. It's like, what? Like that's what I thought the nefarious stuff was going to come into play. But you know, again, Rob Lowe isn't like an inherently evil person or whatever.
Well, but then reads into his calendar, take over local cable show and exploit it or something. And then he's like, feel bad for whoever that is.
Yeah, there were some funny meta moments too where they were referencing other movies. There's the funniest joke in here for like big movie fans where he gets pulled over by the police van. Wayne is in his car,
You
and then
recognized that.
T-1000 shows up. It's the freaking Terminator T2. And he's just like, have you seen this boy? And he's like, ah! Why is that so funny? And then he just drives off. That is just such a funny, like the idea that like Wayne's world is somehow actually in the real world where Sarah Connor, there's T2 running around trying to find Sean Connor and kill him. It's just so funny. Like,
It's amazing.
that is amazing. Yeah, it's just so random. but
The
it's
Wayne
so,
world universe is connected to the Terminator universe.
Terminator. I'm sure James Cameron is thrilled to be linked with something as prestigious as Wayne's World. An SNL sketch that was turned into a full-length movie. So funny. So yeah, that was great. And then, I don't know, other movie. I know there were other movies, like obviously the Scooby-Doo reference at the end. And then it kind of reminded me so much of Happy Gilmore, like you said, the fantasy where Rob Lowe is sitting with his bass player girlfriend and they're like, oh, that was the greatest night of our lives or whatever. And he's like, did you really think that she would end up with that loser Wayne? And then all of a sudden they pause the movie and then Wayne and Garth show up out of nowhere and they're like, hey, do you really think we would end the movie like this? It's like, no, let's give him the Scooby-Doo ending. Diddle-oo, diddle-oo, diddle-oo. It's so great. And then they give the whole Old Man Smithers, and then they end it one last time, a third ending, which is the super-duper happy ending or whatever. And everyone's just like learned their lesson. It's like ridiculous. Like every character has an arc, and they all share it, and it's just so corny and cheesy, and it's delightful. So, But that reminded me of Happy Gilmore when Happy's trying to find his happy place to like
Oh, yeah.
channel his chi.
And then what's his name keeps showing up in the
Shooter
dreams.
McGavin shows up and he's making out with his mom. It's just so funny. Like wearing the Gene Simmons mask. Oh, it's so gross. She's like making out with him in the mask and the tongue. So bad. That movie is so funny, dude. We have to review Happy Gilmore on this. Oh, there was a really funny scene. I don't know why I connected to this. He's like talking about Rob Lowe's character, and he's like, I don't have his looks, and I don't have his money, you know, and his connections, and his knowledge of fine wines. But I know sometimes when I eat, I have this clicking sound in my jaw. And she like stops him, like, why is that so funny, dude? Like, I don't know why. Like, Wayne's character was so great, and he wasn't annoying. Like sometimes when you walk around, it reminds me of the movie Strange Brew, right? Not Rick Moranis. Yeah, Rick. Is it Rick Moranis? I think that's
From
the
Honey,
guy.
I Shrunk Ourselves?
Yes, and that, like, it's just like two goofballs that like get in this weird, like, sucked into this other world. Like, at the very beginning, they own their show, and they're like, the girl, Rob Lowe's girlfriend is like, oh, I love this show, it's so funny, and she doesn't laugh once, and then she's like, yeah, everyone watches them, and he's like, everyone watches this stuff, and then like, he's just like, like convinces the video game guy to fund the show, and then like when he's on the show, I love that how he's like, this man has no or whatever written on the flashcard as he's asking him questions. I love that. And then he's like, kids don't look at me the same ever since we were on the TV show or whatever. I love that. And like while he's making fun of him, it's funny. It was just funny overall, and I love that. So that was a great scene. And then he's fired like that, like just because he didn't want to have the video game arcade entrepreneur on the show. They're like, you're fired. It's like, what? For playing a practical joke? This show was over before it began. If you don't have Wayne and Garth, you had Garth who was just sitting there, didn't know what to say or do. Like, it's just like, it's over. It's just so weird. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. But anyway, come bust a move where the games are played. It's chill, it's fresh, it's Noah's Arcade.
You memorized that well. Way to go.
Dude, I love it. It's the guy from Groundhog Day. It's Punxsutawney Phil, the guy that sees the groundhog's shadow or whatever. He pulls out the groundhog. That's all I know him from. One other thing, when you mentioned the spew into this, that Dixie cup, he puts it in his shirt pocket and keeps it for later.
Yes.
It's so weird.
He looks at it and pulls it back up and...
Oh my gosh, it's so great. All right. I guess lastly, would you guys recommend this movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Unless someone doesn't have any sense of humor.
You have no soul. Yeah.
Well,
don't
this is a
recommend
movie
this.
I recommend to watch with other people.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
it's much more fun to share the laughs, because I watched it alone the first time. And that was
No, that would not have been fun.
Yeah, they also talk to the camera, but this is like before they did like the interview thing, right? I mean, like it's back in the 90s, right?
Well, was
this
Ferris
movie came
Bueller's
out.
Day Off before or after this?
Probably before. That's an 80s film for sure.
So yeah.
But again, well, yeah, you're right. Like it was talking to the camera. You're the audience watching. It's just weird though, because like they acknowledge like it's a film crew. It's not necessarily like Ferris Bueller's talking to like
the
like
audience.
they literally say like, hey, cameraman, like come here and listen to me, and then like he yells at him. He goes, oh wait, don't go. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, well, please, I'll be your friend or whatever.
Yeah, I love it. Starts to walk away.
And then like someone else tries to talk to him. He goes, hey, don't do that. Only Garth and I talk to the camera. Or something. It's really weird.
That's right.
Like someone else
I don't know.
at the diner tries to talk. Yeah, stop it. Only me and Wayne me and Garth talk to the camera. I thought that was funny.
That's really funny.
We end every podcast by sharing movies that we've seen lately and movies that we're looking forward to seeing. What have you seen lately, Tatiana?
Remind me, what have we seen?
Well,
It's all been with you.
yeah,
Except one movie. Oh, I saw Quiet 2 without you, but you also saw that.
Yeah, Quiet Place Too.
Quiet. Oh, quiet.
What did I say?
You said Quiet Too?
Quiet too. Quiet you.
I said Quiet Too.
Quiet too.
Yeah,
I said Quiet Too.
we started a ton of different movies and shows, and we never finished like any
I know,
of them.
I want to finish About Time.
Yeah, we started that.
It's about time we finished About Time. And
Not while I'm drinking water, please.
I'm so sorry. We've seen so many movies. Oh my gosh. I
Yeah,
can't
and so many
remember.
different TV shows. But I'm more curious as to which ones are you looking forward to? You're like, ooh, I actually want to watch more episodes from that. Like
episodes?
we started so many different shows. I'm just wondering if any of those were like ones you actually want to watch
Don't
more
be
of.
surprised. She doesn't say any of them, Jordan.
I know you're like
I think Brooklyn Nine-Nine is the one I'm most
interested in seeing.
looking
Okay,
forward
that's
to,
what I
yeah.
figured.
And also
very
more
sweet.
Rick and Morty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I got her hooked on Rick and Morty.
It's funny.
Mr. Nimbus. Yeah, believe it or not, the first episode I watched was season 3, episode 1, and I was completely lost, but somehow I got sucked right in, and like,
Yeah. That's
as
a great
out of the
episode.
world it was, I still understood relatively what was going on. Like, it is a show for millennials for sure, and Gen Zers, but not for the faint of heart either, man. It is pretty, it's pretty crass, but it's very funny. Mr. Nimbus. He says that a lot.
Nimbus. No, but the best part of the episode, Ty, did you watch it then?
Yeah. I
Oh,
watched the
when
first
he's
episode.
going through that portal, totally reminded me of Invincible. Did it not? Like them
Invincible.
and
Wait.
the TV show Invincible, when they go through the portal, come back and keep fighting them.
Yeah,
And
the aliens. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that was great. I very much like the premise of he accidentally brought him back with him, and then he goes back, and his whole family's aged and they die.
Hello, father.
That was very funny. That is so great. Like classic Rick and Morty fashion. Morty makes an innocent mistake and just ruins someone's life, and they create an enemy.
Well,
out
and
of
then when
it,
he came
of a
through the
predicament.
portal,
It's-
and he's like, "For the future." Tatiana laughed pretty hard at that part.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
That's so great.
There's so
yeah.
many funny parts that we were laughing at. Oh my gosh.
Also, I know you've introduced me to several movies that I've really liked, but the one that's coming to mind the most is Family Man. I had never seen that with Nick Cage.
Oh, I
Nick, as
love
you call him.
man.
Could you speak in plain English, not with all the mumbo jumbo? So weird.
Well, it's funny because Tatiana leaned over to me partway through, and what did you say? You're like, I see why you like him so much. Because there's moments like that, Ty, who's freak out, and when he just kind of loses it, like you call them moments.
Acid trip.
Yeah, just moments that you look for in those, and you're waiting for those Nick Cagean moments when you're like,
Yes.
this is why
Yeah.
I love him.
Nick Cage.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick Cajun style fries.
Or that
Yeah,
YouTube
fat guys.
that YouTube video with the Nick Cage losing his shiz.
Yeah, Nick Cage losing his freaking mind, dude. It's a wild ride for sure.
It's amazing.
They need to update that and put all the new movies he's been in. Color Out of Space, man.
Did you see the trailer for his newest movie coming out called Pig?
No, I haven't. Is he a cop or why is it called Pig?
It's called. Oh yeah, that'd be interesting actually. No, it's called Pig because he has a pet pig and somebody takes it, and so he goes out on revenge to go kill the people that took it.
No way. Is it like oh my gosh, so you're telling me this is like John Wick, but with Nicolas Cage?
And
I'd go see that movie.
instead of a dog.
I'm assuming
Well, because the
that's
first place he checks to is restaurants. It's hilarious.
He's like, who would have it out for my pig? And then he sees bacon being served at the deli or at the breakfast diner, and he's just like, you all to hell. That's so great, dude. I love it. Oh my gosh.
Oh, my cheeks are hurting.
Oh man. Well, that's great.
This movie had me smiling the whole time. What?
I said, my cheeks are killing me. Toy Story. The Barbie
the
character.
Barbie. That's right at the end.
I
was
always
trying to
say
think,
that
I
if
was
I'm
like,
smiling a lot
Are
for
we
pictures
done?
or something, and I'm like, my cheeks are killing me.
That is exhausting. That's right. I remember that. At first, I was thinking of Hammy or someone. I was like, whose sister cheeks are? I was thinking of Jessie, and I'm like, this is weird. Awesome. Are you looking forward to seeing any movies, Tatiana?
What's coming out?
I don't know. Movie theaters are in a weird swing right now.
Yeah. I noticed some of the stuff that was going to come out still got pushed off.
holding on.
I am looking forward to some of the movies that we've been talking about watching for a while. Nacho Libre, but that might not be for years because you watched that too recently. And The Hunt of the Wilder People. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, it's a great one for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe when
Check his
Cameron
work.
comes over, we can watch that because Cameron's obsessed.
Yes, let's do it.
Very sweet movie. Everybody, you can leave us a review. 5 stars is the correct number of stars. And leave us an email, futuremovies@gmail.com. Check us out on Spotify, Twitter, Snapchat, social media. I don't know if we have Snapchat, but that's probably the one we don't have. Instagram, follow us, like us. It's free, except if you go on Patreon, you can just give us money. So
It's free, but this engagement moment brought to you by Kay is priceless. Just kidding. Brought to you by a Wisconsin high school.
Or he's like decked out in Adidas, and he's just like, yeah, some people would just say what they don't really even believe, man, and they, just for money or whatever.
Yeah.
For sponsors.
It's like
That's
some
great.
people just say stuff for money. I don't get that.
I don't get that. Oh, one last time, congratulations, you two guys. Wow, getting married on a podcast. How about that?
And end of all podcast, Wayne's World.
Yes. Oh, that's
I don't-
perfect.
Wayne's
a
World,
gift to
party
me.
on. Excellent.
Okay, so Ty, Ken, he listens to our podcast, Tatiana's dad, and he is like, what were we talking about at dinner? He's like, because I just made them chicken noodle soup, mom's chicken noodle soup, and he's like, oh, to quote your brother from the podcast, he said, this soup is phenomenal.
I thought he was going to say, what the fudge am I eating?
No, not quoting Cameron.
Not to bash your food, though, Jordan. You made some good chicken noodle soup, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Tasted all
It was
right?
amazing.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at you, Jordan. Moving up in the world. I remember when you could only make bacon and quesadillas. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's all it was. It was a pound of bacon and cheese quesadillas. And you're like, oh, I don't feel so good. I'm like, you had a pound of bacon. Oh, my gosh. Tatiana,
Okay.
you don't know what you're getting into. I want to throw this in. I'm going to embarrass Jordan. So I can save these for stories. Jordan was like 18 at the time, living on his own in Park City. And then he's like, Ty, you got to come over here and feel my hair, man. I was like, why? He's like, I just put some conditioner in my hair. It's super smooth. It's incredible. It's like, I've never been putting conditioner in my hair before.
Oh, no
just
way.
Tried it. Look at that. Like, he's 18 years old. He never knew what conditioner is for. Love you,
Hey, I
Jordan.
was still shampooing it. All right, take it easy.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, you're not like Grant, who literally went 5, 6, 7 years without putting shampoo in his hair because he liked to style his hair a certain way. So he refused to put shampoo in it because he and then when he finally put shampoo in it, he's like, oh no, I can style it much better now that I shaved. So if Grant is concerned about losing his hair, it's probably because he didn't use a single product in it for like 8 years. So there's that. Our family is fucked up. Welcome to the family, Tatiana. We're all crazy people.
Well,
Love
didn't you
it.
say one of the
Fit
tips?
right in.
When didn't you say a tip was to wash your head upside down?
Oh, yeah. I have an aunt that says to help with receding hairlines, you have to flip your head over and scrub, like put the shampoo in and scrub it while your head is flipped over.
I also hear if you have a brain freeze, you're supposed to close one eye, stick your tongue out, and hop up and down on one foot.
Oh, really?
And my middle name is Gullible. All right, everybody, this is Futro Hit Movie Gems. Thanks so much. You guys, I have plenty more embarrassing stories where those came from, so I'll be sharing those later. So
Excited.
brace yourself.
Okay.
Congrats, you guys. Holy cow. Seriously, that's so wonderful. Wonderful news. You guys are great. Take it easy. Stay safe. This is Futro Hidden Movie Gems signing out. Peace.
Love you.
Bye.
You can't look away. You can't look down at the runway or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.